Good evening, or is it bonsoir? No, don't worry, you haven't sat on the remote and flipped over to that other game and found yourself in Gay Paris by mistake. We've upgraded you and brought you to Royal Berkshire for a league that is way more tougher, way more open than the Rugby World Cup. It is National 1 action and it's the top of the table. Granted, there has only been one round thus far, but we have two sides who are perennially chasing that promotion to the championship. The home side RAMS, who were beaten out on wins, equal on points at the top last season, and Chinnor rejuvenated and refocused with a new season ahead. We're in for a thrilling night here at Old Bath Road, and it's not just me here because I have, and I quote, the legend, Ash Rowden, over 100 games as a referee at Premiership level, and a man who knows the English game from snout to tail, schoolboy to Premiership, international, and everything in between. Your commentator this evening, Dave Rogers. And chaps, with that, it's over to you to tell us how excited we are for this evening.
Oh, it's exciting. I'll just say one thing. Great to have Nat Gen here filming the game. And I would say, we've only played one game each, but it's a local derby. So it doesn't matter whether Chinnor had won by 60 at the weekend and we'd lost by 60. Form goes out the window in local derbies. So we'd like to come out again on top tonight if we can. But these games are always close.
Take a look around, Joe. This is proper rugby. The lights are on. The terrace is absolutely rammed. There's people all around the ground. There's two teams. Might be a derby, they might be separated by county lines, but two teams with great wins under their belt. What do we have, 80 points in this fixture last year? There's been a lovely buzz about the place, and I'm happy to add myself to that buzz as well. I'm seriously looking forward to this one.
I touched on the competitiveness of National 1, and for those newcomers, welcome to it all. The fun and games has only just begun. But last season we had Sale, we had RAMS, we had Cambridge, who ultimately were promoted. 114 points, 114 points, 113 points, all locked at the top. Do you think there's a league more competitive than this?
You know how to hurt me, don't you? You know how to hurt me. Look, I spent 25 years in the Premiership. I've spent 8 years back with my home club. I think it's a great league. I think it's a great league because you've got the best of the semi-pro players with a sprinkling of lots of ex-pros dropping down. And I just think it's a really, really good standard of rugby, and has been since we came into the league. And I can't put a finger on as why it's a good standard of rugby, but it just is. You see lots of running rugby, not much kicking normally. Players want to play. This is their hobby. It's not their job.
It's all for the badge, all for the crest.
I think what we've seen as well is those teams towards the top end of this league, when they do get the opportunity to go up into the championship, whether it's Caldy, whether it was Richmond a couple of years ago, they really do hold their own and they take some scalps as well. So I think this RAMS team this evening will probably hold themselves in that kind of high esteem as well. And I think in games like this, in derbies like this, we'll find out exactly where they want to find themselves at the end of the season, which I'd imagine is at the top of the tree and knocking on the door of the next level.
Well, should we hear from the head honcho himself? We've got Seb Reynolds waiting in the wings. It's fast and loose here for Next Gen for Nat 1, and Dave, you're going to furnish him the mic, but first and foremost, with a question as well, the DOR of RAMS Rugby.
You've always got to make an exit, haven't you? Well, we were just talking about last season. We parked that, but I just wanted to see the look in your eye when I mentioned it. But this season, we're assuming that you're very ambitious and you want to see yourselves at the top of the tree, but it'd be great to hear that from the horse's mouth.
Well, you'd love to be competing. I think you go into every season hoping to be the best you can be. And thanks very much, Jess. That means if you're competing near the top, then that's fantastic. But the main thing for us last year is we felt we gave everything we could. I think Cambridge are a quality side. They did really well, and you move on from it. We played some of our best rugby we've played at this level. We scored the most tries we've scored, and we enjoyed the league. This league is a fantastic league, and we're excited to go again.
I mean, look, we're not going to dwell on last season because, you came so close. It was a thrilling chase. But are you able to harness, I guess, that disappointment and bring it into this season afresh, knowing that you've got a quality side like Richmond coming down and some shock results as well in the first round as well? Like, you kind of never know where everyone stands until the first few games unroll in that one.
Yeah, you just got to let the season pan out. I mean, we've not really thought about it too much. I think that you're pleased for teams like Cambridge and Richie there, but they did a fantastic job, and they're at the top of the league at the end of the season, so they deserved it. And we were just pleased with the way we developed. We made good improvements, and then you move on from it. And so there's some new players that have come in this year. There's some experienced players that have done brilliantly well, and then you just look forward to an exciting season. And then you get a Friday night like this, 25 degrees, and under the lights is exciting stuff.
Yeah, a little bit hot, a little bit hotter than I think everyone was hoping for. Well, look, Sam, I know you've got business to attend to, so I'm going to let you jump off. And we're going to invite Nick Easter over, who's gassing away with Dave, when we actually really want to hear from Nick Easter, the Diwa of Chinnor. Oh, there you go, a little bit of old school. Right, did you ref this individual back in his pomp?
I wouldn't say I refed him. He talked me through the game most of the time. He was right and I was normally wrong.
So you got manipulated by Nick Easter?
Not at all. Utmost respect for Ash.
God, let's talk about manipulation. How are you going to manipulate this Rams team the way you want them to come away with a victory today, Nick?
Look, they're obviously favourites this year, and rightly so. They're the market leaders last year up until the last month, and they got a very deep squad, and I enjoy the way they play. And it's going to take a full 80 minutes. We know that they're very, very strong in the last 25, 30. Shown it certainly since I've been at Chinnor, watching their games, and yeah, we're gonna have to be on the money, but we're also going to have to start executing some of the stuff we put in terms of pre-season. I felt the last 2 weeks, Darlington, we made a lot of errors against Darlington last week, and Cambridge the week before sort of became a bit biblical for about 15 minutes. So ball in hand, we weren't able to actually implement what we've been working on in pre-season.
Well, I mean, you're clearly a man who's ambitious and you want to improve and stuff, but ultimately you went nearly 70 minutes without conceding a point against Cambridge, who were promoted last year, and you beat them. Pretty much the same story against DMP, so you've got to be pretty happy with where your defence is at.
Yeah, but look, tonight's the challenges that you really enjoy from a defensive point of view. They'll challenge you around the ruck, they'll challenge you in midfield, obviously on the edges, counter-attack, loose ball. And I said to the guys, these are the opportunities for you to challenge yourself from a defensive point of view. But the way the game is now, you've got to score points. So, defence, is massive in terms of getting a performance and keeping you in the game. And you can score tries with your defence, yes, but it can't only be the thing that you come to a place like Rams and expect to do well at.
Well, I know that Ash is a big fan of your outside centre, who is one of your main running threats. Is
Mr.
that right?
Passman.
Yes.
Quality player. He's done damage against us playing for Darlington Modern Park. There's a couple of other players, Kieran Goss as well, who's been a long-term Chinnor player. But we think they got threats across the board in the backs, and defensively we'll have to be on our money.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, Nick, we're going to let you bounce off. Thanks very much for your time. We'll catch up with you during the game as well.
Pleasure. Thanks very much.
Lovely stuff. Ash will take that microphone from you as well as your handshake, and I'll take that from you. I'll manage to here pitch side. Right, so we're seeing the players come out, and Ash, we haven't kind of been able to delve as deep into the sides as much as we did. We did touch on Chinnor just there, as the roar will tell you that Rams are coming out. Who are the Rams that we should be keeping our eyes on tonight?
Fraser Hunter, who plays at 10, signing from Reds Ruth. We have high hopes at drivers higher up the table this year. Robbie Stapley, the evergreen 35-year-old skipper, who is literally a club legend. And Mike Hoyt, who's been in our second team for 2 or 3 years, also we have high hopes for him.
Look at him, Ash, he can't take his eyes off the action, and neither should you. But don't worry, it's going to be complemented by the commentary of Dave Rogers, who's up top to lead you through this cracker in Nat 1.
Thanks very much, Joe. It is all set up here. The lights are on, the stands are filling up.
A bloody good presenter,
The balcony is rammed. And everyone is very excited about this one. It's game 2 of the season for both of these teams. Rams underway with a 50-36 victory over Moseley. Chinnor defeating DMP 22-10. The ref blows the whistle. We are underway, and we've had our first look at that ball disappearing over the top of the floodlights. I think that is going to be a big play this evening. The pitch is well lit, however, when it disappears up above the lights and then comes back down again, it is going to be tough for those back 3 players. But that's a short ball, and Sharif with the carry up to halfway. Let it come! First touch then for these backs, and a good chase up there by Rossiter, but he misses the tackle, but it's intercepted, and good hands here. And Rams, well, nudging that straight into touch off the advantage. Ash, you've negotiated the ladder. you're here, we're underway, and it feels pretty good.
And the good thing is we've won the first battle of the evening because we are playing up the hill because we love to play down to the clubhouse in the second half in front of our faithful crowd.
Clubhouse is where everyone wants to be. This is the first line-out set piece then.
+1s.
Referee Owen Taylor giving his instructions. And secure ball on short numbers. Oh, and a nice gap hit there. Looking around for support. Brilliant work from Wharton.
Advantage.
Selected at 8 today after being at 6.
High tackle.
In the first week.
Keep playing.
That's the first high tackle advantage.
Keep playing.
Chinnor gave away 4 penalties from high tackles last week. All a bit lateral.
Back to feet.
Now Carter.
Still paying the
Going to
penalty
line up some
advantage.
big men again. Good early line speed from Rams, but good gain line here from Chinnor. Price waits. Has a little look and then spits it at the back. Could be some numbers here, but Rams come across. Just got Rossiter marking the blind side. Another advantage here for Chinnor.
Not rolling away.
And some good phase play early on here from
Ball
Chinnor.
out. Still playing 2
They
advantages.
yet to
Chinnor.
really get any kind of gains until now as Fenny bursts through. On the inside is Carter. Carter with a defender to beat, turns him inside and out, but the cover tackle comes across. A good one, a try-saving one, and a penalty to Rams.
Budget is over, lads, clearly over.
I think we got out of jail bit there. 2 advantages, but Chinnor made 40, 50 yards, so he's really got a cool advantage over, and then we've had a great steal at the tackle.
Well, that's 2 lines hit. First of all by Izzy Wharton, then from Will Feeney, breaching the Rams line. But last-ditch defending, and the chance to clear the 22. And trying to bite off too much with that penalty as well, so back come Chinnor.
That's always inside, 50-22.
Looking for the 50-22, needs a bounce, gets a bounce, great kick, and Chinnor right back on the front foot.
50-22. That one, please.
Fraser be a bit disappointed with his penalty kick there. We really wanted him to find touch, and we've been punished rather heavily.
Scored, lads. Let's go then.
Excellent kick off the left boot.
What I would say is that one of the Chinnor's strengths that we're wary of is their catch and drive, so this will be interesting.
Well, they've got Walker at hooker, stalwart at trail finder, 70 tries in 9 years, and many of them coming from positions like this. 2 line-outs, both nailed, making their way towards the line here now, Chinnor. First real opportunity to strike.
Tackle away!
And they're stopped a metre or so short. Carter digs and finds Keston lines. Oh, the missed pass. In the shadow of the post now, Chinnor.
Must score.
Over the line. Is it grounded? Referee's not sure.
Looked good to me.
Just want to double check. I'm happy with the ground in there. Yeah.
Second venture into the 22. First try, the visitors. White hot in the first 5 minutes.
May as well go and check, haven't we?
Chinnor 5, Rams 0.
If ever you need a lesson about finding touch from your penalties, that was it.
Let's take another look at the finish. It was a brave pass across the face here. The temptation always to keep it tight, but that ball across the front. Was well recycled. After a quick consultation, it is Walker who dots down for the first try of the night. Successful conversion. 5 minutes gone. Rams 0, Chinnor 7. Let's take another look at this. Yeah, that missed pass there. It was Passman, wasn't it, who you were pumping the tyres up before the game started.
Good finish.
Another clean take then from the restart. And a chance to clear. Rams barely touched the ball. Another cannon of a left boot to clear the danger. Athletically kept in then. by McRae and then run out, and Rams not having a great time of it right now.
Fantastic kick by the Chinnor player. Was that Tom Price?
And to give you an idea of the distance on it, there is no wind. It is completely flat out there at the moment.
He's driven that from inside his 22. That's sort of 70 yards.
And Chinnor can reload inside the 22. To the back they go. Alfie North takes it and they go quickly again to Wharton. A few aggressive carries from him early on. Carter across to Stokes, and Stokes tips it on.
Tackle Rams!
What a start this from Chinnor. Back in the shadow of the posts. Putting width on it again. Walker puts it in reverse. Looking for some width this time. Kieran Goss is swallowed up by Rossiter.
Never on the ball. Start using!
Carter with some chasing to do. Now Lines again. The tackle there by Stapley, the captain. But it is all Chinnor at the moment, just looking to batter the Rams' door down.
Being pinned in, he's being pinned in, ball's available.
Carter to the right this time, little nudge in behind and a good solid contact and turned over. McRae's there, right place, right time. There's a good boot on it, and this time Rams make sure.
Great tackle by James McRae, and Ellis Jones has picked up the loose ball, and we've got a little bit of breathing space at the moment. I think the boys will. Great start by Chinnor, real high intensity.
Well, they're getting regular visits to the 22,
Okay,
aren't
go,
they? That's
boys,
3 already. They've only managed to convert 1, and that'll play on the minds.
I think Nick Easter will be really pleased how they started.
This time they go to Sharif.
That'll be blocking.
Front and back lifter obstruction, there's no access to the ball carrier. 5 and 1. Marked here, lads.
First mistake of the game then from Chinnor.
Both lifters across.
And now it's Rams who are giving a piggyback up the pitch. Better kick this time. Safe kick. First attacking line out.
Yeah, I think he learnt from his first kick there. It's important that, you know, with the line out laws now, that you find touch. Although we're up against a really quite impressive Chinnor front 8. They got some big players in there, so it'd be interesting how our line out goes.
Heyman picks out Hoyt. Chinnor commits some bodies, but here comes the drive. Ollie Cole waits.
That's 1. Okay, wait now, you're on the edge now. Start using!
Now it is Cole, he finds Amberston.
Who only knows one way.
And that way is forward. 30 metres out then. First real attack of the match for Rams. 50 points last week. They've got in the try-scoring mood already. Stapley. Slower ball than they'd like. So again, they utilise the big men. Dan Swain.
Away, lads! No, nothing there.
Now Hoyt tries to take the long way around, gets the offload away, and it's knocked on by Jones and kicked forward. Chinnor keen to put boot to ball and play the territorial game, but Rams have other ideas. Good carry, back up to halfway.
Don't go in.
Up the short side they go. Oh, bumped off well.
I was about to do a classic Jonathan Davis and say they've got numbers on the right.
Well, they didn't last for long, did they? Alice Jones took them up to halfway.
Start using, please.
Box kick.
And with
Always
that,
inside.
the high kick. Smith underneath it. Good take by Smith. Putting those pink boots to work. Got to be quick to wear those, haven't you?
The first man is fine.
Stolen
and then
by
knocked
Rams.
Forward. So play the scrum advantage.
Oh, excellent turnover. Second of the match. The first led to a penalty. The second led to some ball. And now possibly some width. Rossiter wants it on the right-hand side. Perhaps came to him a little bit late.
Scrum advantage over now.
This much better from Rams. This being played at a really high pace on both teams. 10 minutes gone.
Not on the ball.
Chinnor 7, Rams 0.
Okay, this will be carried in.
Honey, oh, that was
Advantage.
flat and overrun and eventually knocked on. Sharif strong in the carry.
Still playing scrum advantage.
Kick.
Advantage is over
Borton. Right-footed kicking option this time. That one just inside the 22.
Axel's called the mark.
now. That's fine.
That's a half decent nudge.
Lads, take the 10 for me then, Chinnor. Take the 10.
Feels quick.
Not Chinnor.
And I don't know where you're watching this from around the world, but what I can tell you is here today, it has been absolutely roasting, and there is no sign of any breeze. It is hot out there, it is muggy out there, and as this game wears on, there are going to be some tired legs out there.
Lads, just make sure we've always got access, please,
We
Chinnor.
do like to play at
Thank
tempo. Whether we can keep it going for 80 minutes and whether Chinnor can keep it going, we will see. But we do like to play at tempo.
Well, that's where
Line
you
out
hope that
over.
your pre-season's worked well. All of those Broncos and runs. Oh, it's another good ball, well taken by Wharton. He's had a good start. Mike White makes a good tackle on him, though.
Play the advantage, it's a knock-on.
Knocked on by Heyman, back with Chinnor. And Alfie North. Oh, good line there by Nick Smith. Oh, the offload just behind Feeney. But back with Walker.
Okay, advantage over now.
Another advantage over, but more ball for Chinnor. Well met, though. And the knock-on force. Big physical tackle.
We want to play here. We want to play.
Advantage over.
Put boot on ball. Feeney's there to cover. But he's not going to be required, because that's a good touch.
All right, relax. 2 from both sides as well, lads, don't forget. Let's go.
Is it me, or do I think that some players are already walking?
I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't blame them. It is hard and heavy going out there. Some massive collisions.
Seb does back the team in the last 20. So it will be interesting to see how this carries on.
Well, it's calmed down a bit in the last few minutes.
Well, all that adrenaline as you come out, that first 5-10 minutes, that's just normal even at whatever level you play.
Taken well again by Sharif. No infringement this time. What another good line off the back by Wharton. Selected at 8 today, played 6 last week. Willie Ryan has done his MCL, so we wish him all the best with his recovery. He's had a busy start as Wharton, with Rams back inside their own half.
Play the advantage, play advantage.
I think it's been...
Oh, now then, opportunity for Rams. Where's the support coming from? Lovely ball to run onto, but tantalisingly close. McRae ends up putting it into touch.
Penalty advantage.
Move quicker, please.
Got rolling by Chinnor. Hard to see, would you?
Gold one, not rolling
Unless
away.
you want to give me a close-up.
Oh, if that
Cheers,
ball,
Fraser,
though,
thank you.
fingertip stuff. But Rams just starting to get back into the arm wrestle now. 14 minutes gone. In this Nat 1 top of the table clash. I know Joe mentioned it's the first game, well, second game of the season. They've both had 1 win, but both were 5-point wins. But let's take another look at this. No, in fact, this was the penalty,
This is
wasn't
the penalty.
it? For not rolling away.
I think
But then this break here. Watch McRae. Oh, just sees the space around the finish. Let's see exactly how close this pass
where
was.
he's really good.
Oh,
Away.
still opportunity gone.
Here he is again.
But it is back with Rams and McRae.
Move! Good work, 3, thank you.
And then Swain adds his ample weight to the collision. Alfie North with the tackle. They've gone at the short side again here. Tipped on one more time, but Paddy Harris,
Touch there, lads.
bit of a hospital pass really.
Boys, 8, come.
And Rams run out of space.
I think Seb will be pleased how we've settled down. Definitely not the best of
Lads, just
starts.
time off, we've got
and
somebody down round the mark.
fair play to Chinnor. Have come out of the blocks at 120 miles an hour, and they might feel a bit frustrated that they've only got the 1 score.
Well, what a way to start your rugby weekend. Delighted to have your company. This is a NextGen15 production, of course. We've got 3 streams a week for the next few weeks, including Rugby School versus Oakham tomorrow. So make sure you join us for that one. Lots of rugby on. It feels like this is something you should be across, and we're delighted to have you on board for this one.
Okay. Hang on, lads.
Can I
There's
just...
Burnsy down there making friends. Who have you got with you, Joe?
Okay.
Oh, I thought Joe was down there making friends. Maybe he is making friends, so much so that he doesn't want to talk to us anymore. But I think we're going to be hearing from Joe Burns throughout the half. He's down there on the benches, getting some insight, maybe more, as that's quickly off the top there by Chinnor. Oh, that excellent tackle forces the knock on, but Chinnor always looking to move the ball, and that is the gamble. We're going to have a look at the scrum set piece.
Well, I was asked earlier what's good about this league. You can tell it's good because we've just played 15 minutes and this is the first scrum. You know, gone are the days where at level 3 you'd have 20, 30 scrums in a game. The players' skill levels are really good. And to be fair, Chinnor only knocked on because we put them under massive pressure in the middle of the pitch.
That was James Burton knocking on. One of a few players in Chinnor colours tonight who are former Ealing Trailfinders. Let's take a look at this set scrum then. Paddy Harris, Max Heyman and Paul Engelsos in the front row for Rams. It's Lyons, Walker and McNulty for Chinnor.
That's a fairly formidable Chinnor front row, by the way.
Bye! Stand up.
Give us a referee's perspective then. What are the lines you're trying to draw? What are the instructions you're trying to give to front rows for this first scrum of the game?
Okay, so the first thing that is cascaded down from elite level referees is that it's Rams ball and we want to be looking at the Rams tight head. So we're looking at where his feet are, then what angle he's at, and then where his bind is. And after that, then we concentrate on the Chinnor loose head. But the onus will be on Paulie playing tight head for us.
Bye! Set!
And great news, we've got a good view of the two of them. It's a great contest until it folds, and then Rams with the ball to use. Oh, it's knocked on at first receiver, and that's a disappointing end to a good attacking opportunity for the hosts.
Okay, so wearing my referee's hat, not my Rams hat. If we'd have been penalised there, I don't think we'd have any complaints.
Okay, lads,
He didn't deliberately go down, but he slipped. And as far as the official's concerned, if you slip because you're not in a good body position, then that's your problem.
So a slip is a penalty then? That's
yeah.
That's really interesting to know.
Because he probably wouldn't have slipped if he wasn't in such a horizontal position.
So Chinnor ball this time. Scrums like London buses and all that.
That's me and my big mouth, isn't it? Saying there's no mistakes.
I think the backs will be glad of a breather, to be honest. No such luck for the forwards. Here's Luke Carter. In it comes another decent contest, and then Wharton picks and goes. Not sure he had much of a choice there as it was wheeling around.
Another high tackle against Rams, Ollie Cole.
And more space here for Chinnor. Brilliant carry.
Come back.
Right. Thought it was a bit unlucky there. I don't think he was held in the tackle.
9, seatbelt. Back here, PJ.
So
he is a physical specimen in midfield, Mr. Passman, isn't he?
9.
Doesn't take many prisoners.
No. As wide as a double door.
Seatbelt, though. Seatbelt, Robbie.
Feeney.
It's another good nudge.
Oh, it's a sweet left boot he's got, isn't it? Yeah, it was a little bit scrappy from Chinnor there, and I think they'd have been pleased that it was Rams who put a foot wrong and gave them this opportunity. Over goes Lyons then. He gives the instruction. Walker's ready to go. Right on the 22 in front of that big gaggle of home supporters. Oh, they've gone to the front. And Rams going backwards.
Advantage.
Carter with an advantage. Sharif. Oh, bounces the man off. Big carry from Sharif. Now McNulty. Chinnor knocking on the door again. Carter finds Walker. Walker looking for soft shoulders. Quick ball knocked on. The big tree falls hard and the big chance disappears. Oh, Chinnor will be kicking themselves.
Well, they probably knew they had a free play, so they're happy to come back for the, how surprising, kick to touch. Axel Callan getting caught on the wrong side of the ruck and for not rolling. If they don't get 5 here, they will be
busy.
just a bit.
It was one of those training ground moves. They've gone to the front there, and to be fair to Callan Smith, he did very well just to make the tackle, but then got stuck there underneath big Alan Walker. He'll be licking his lips at this opportunity. They find Merrick. Then Walker arrives.
That's once, Chinnor, that's
Borton
once.
stood there, but I don't think he's going to be getting it.
Okay, sideways.
This looking good for Chinnor.
Rams are in trouble here.
This looking really good for Chinnor. Oh, but they've been stopped short somehow. How have they not scored with that maul?
Pick and drive, it's all pick and drive.
The opportunity still here for Chinnor, though. Rams still just about holding on, but for how long?
Try.
It's down. Chinnor score again. 16 minutes in. It's another one from close range.
Oh, you're right, Shaq.
And they are shocking. This home team here. It is Chinnor 12, Rams 0.
Lads, who's running your line out? Send him over here.
Well, it's been coming for Chinnor, hasn't it?
So Rams said before the game, we've got to keep Chinnor out of our 22 on the line out. And as you've seen, we've been punished now twice. It could have been more. And you've got to say, Chinnor, well worth their, what should be, a 14-point lead.
Well, when they've got themselves into that situation, they have been pretty efficient. The conversion's good. It is Rams 0, Chinnor 14. And I think Joe is down there now with some very, very happy Chinnorians.
Dream start for Chinnor. How fast?
Yeah, we came out of the blocks well. We spoke about starting fast. We've really worked on our attack, about trying to get the same way and being around the corner. We've done that well so far. Just making sure we exit well. That's our main thing so far.
Look, he didn't get the try there, but a guy's caught our eye. Izzy Wharton, number 8, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's an absolute nutter. But he's not that big, but he runs around like a madman. He's really throwing his body around.
Hey, loving your
Stay
work
down,
so
stay
far. We'll
down.
let you get back to the action.
Well, speaking of
Carried
relay
in.
trail finders, Craig Hampson there. Serious gas himself. Sure, he'd be loving it out on this flat, hard track here at Old Bath Road. Tell you, we're not enjoying it at the moment. A Rams. Here's Henry Bird. Has he got an answer to it? Oh, that's big positivity. Great leg drive.
Henry's really strong in the tackle.
Oh, and dummies from number 8. That's what we like to see. Rams keeping the ball alive, and now Humberston. He's brought down. It was Jones on the edge. Short ball, well taken. Looked high. Referee says no. Happy enough to play on. Oh, honey. That looked a bad one.
No.
George Stokes could be in trouble here.
Lad, just relax. Lad, just relax. Just relax. Fraser, stay down with time off. No, with time off. Lads, back you go. Lads.
Well, we're going to have another look at this at some point.
To brace for the contact and it hit me. It's not a high tackle.
The referee isn't going to have the benefit of the replay, but he is going to have the benefit of his assistant.
Okay, that's fine. 7.
What's the colour?
Yellow. Must be yellow. Can't be a red. It's yellow.
Skipper. Down there. Okay. It's contact with the head.
So Stokes picks up a yellow, indirect contact with the head.
Not enough. State a yellow card. It's all right, Skipper. I'm going to have a word
And now
with you about the
Rams.
yellow when we're
They've
over
had a
there.
few opportunities, but this a golden one.
Just be interested to see on the replay.
No. Wait for him to get up.
Let's have a look at this now then. Good, well-produced ball. Yeah,
Well,
he's just ridden up on him.
We'll crack
Well,
on, we'll crack on then,
in
yeah?
fairness, I think
Okay.
Fraser was also ducking at the same time.
High tackle. I've asked him, he says go.
So those are your extenuating circumstances, but it does mean that Chinnor will end the half with 14 men. 14 points to the good.
And just coming back to that, that shows how hard it is for the referees. He's had one look at that in real time. I thought it looked naughty in real time, and then on replay I think Fraser has just ducked a bit, and what was a tackle starting round about the chest became head contact.
Well, Chinnor have made 2 of these opportunities count. Rams are yet to have one. This is their first. The line-out's well taken. Can they get some ink in the ledger? Heyman's there at the back. Sharif has got himself in an awkward position.
That's one, Rams.
Cole's going to have to wrestle for it and does get it away. Short ball sent back inside. Chinnor with some defending to do.
Knock on.
Knocked on.
First one from blue, second from gold.
Once again, Rams fluff their lines. And that's a good start to life with just 14 for Chinnor.
This Seb will be disappointed because we made a lot of unforced errors on Saturday as well against Birmingham, Moseley. And that's you can't afford to be making those sort of mistakes there.
It's a good contest, lads. Let's keep it legal all the way through, both sides, yeah?
Chinnor have brought in one of the backs as they go 8 on 8. They're not so confident that they can hold out R8 with only 7.
I'd imagine, I was about to say, I'd imagine the brief will be get this as far up the pitch as possible. But the free kick made that a little bit easier. Wharton with another carry. But credit to Chinnor.
Enterprising.
Yeah, they've probably gone through a few more phases than they'd have expected to. Keston lines. Will they put boot to ball now? Yeah, Carter shapes for the box.
Start using Chinnor.
And sends that one high. Birds underneath it. Likes a counter, but there aren't many gaps here. Nearly finds one, but James Borton makes the tackle on the 10. Stapley gets his head down. 2 locks who really like to carry for Rams. That one nudged on now. Jones. Could be a bit of space here for Humberston. Oh, but it's been caught. That is one of those yellow card or turnovers, and again, the cards have fallen Chinnor's way.
Playing the scrum advantage, Chinnor.
Rugby can be a game of small margins at times.
Again, Chinnor throwing it around inside their own 22, even looking for the offload there.
Advantage over.
Oh, and then...
Lads, that's not advantage over, that's my fault, that's rubbish. Let's go back.
We got about as far as Adva in advantage over when that kick was charged down.
I think he got to a little bit more than advantage. I think clearly called advantage over. He certainly got to Ove and then realised that, you know, that's sympathetic refereeing, but Rams will be a little bit obviously frustrated.
Fine, but then knocked forward by blue.
Rams 0, Chinnor 14. Chinnor down to 14 as well. George Stokes yellow carded for a high shot on Fraser Honey. Little bit of a show for the Friday night viewers.
I'm not sure who the player is, but that's the second bout of treatment he's had, and it's on his left shoulder again. So I don't know whether he's struggling or he's got a niggle, but it's the second time.
They take a lot of impacts down there, don't they? So I think that padding might be staying on. I think he'll be hoping that there's something cooling underneath it as well, because it is hot going out there. We're underneath the night sky now at Old Bath Road. The lights on. Pitch looking absolutely fantastic.
The cynic in me, obviously, of course, would say that maybe that was what they call a Kit Kat moment. And for those who are listening who think Kit Kat, that was a term developed by Leicester Tigers, take a break. But I wouldn't be so cynical as to suggest that at level 3 now, would I?
Crouch!
So we'll restart. Chinnor ball.
Chinnor will be really happy. We played 28 minutes. Rams have hardly got in the 22. When they have done, they've fluffed their lines.
Well, they've gone for the short ball again, and they found the gap. It's Borton striding up over halfway. Oh, and he's knocked it on. Second knock on of the game for Borton. And that is a lovely chip, but they couldn't quite gather the chase. It's hacked on though, and Bird just about beaten to it by Sharif.
He's got the ball, you're off feet.
Oh, and then off the feet for Rams, just as it looked like they were going to get the break.
You stay on your feet and compete for the ball.
I think that's a bit harsh, because I don't think Sheriff actually had the ball under control. Dan Swain went for it. But again, this is what refereeing is all about. He has to make that decision on the spot. And he clearly explains what he felt he saw.
Well, we've talked about Rams not taking their opportunities. Chinnor, that was a golden one. If that ball goes inside from Borton, they are in under the sticks. Hit a fantastic line.
He just held on a bit too long. He was just there.
Yeah.
I think maybe he just lost his support player who'd come the other side of him. He was looking for the switch pass. That's tight. Has Sheriff for Chinnor got the ball under control?
Off the top they go. Carter having a scramble for that one.
Start using!
Has he done him for not playing with? No, he's not gone. I thought he was about to do him for not playing it within 5 seconds.
In here, then.
You don't see it very often, do you?
Well, we probably don't see it enough at elite level. Players here tend to do what referees ask them to do.
Lads, it's all sticky and sweaty.
Well, there have
all
been
right,
a few players
let's keep space and we'll gun proper,
who've been warned by the referee for counting down from 5 as we take a really good look at the supporters here. The stand is full. They're lining all of the boards here.
If I was still refereeing and an opposition player was going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'd be saying, you carry on doing that, there'd be a penalty against you from gentlemanly conduct. Because in effect, they're telling the referee, I know better than you.
Crouch! Bye!
Coming up to half an hour then.
Third scrum,
Set!
30
Stay
minutes,
high,
3
stay
scrums.
high.
Rams with a lot of width to work with.
I think we need to play this away.
It's a bit more like it for Rams, and there's a gap for Calix Smith to glide through. He's brought down by his opposite number, Goss. There are hands on that to slow it down, but Cole goes up the short side now. Rossiter steps back in.
High tackle. Advantage being played. Free play for Rams.
Oh, and then spat up by Stapley.
So we go to the corner here for sure.
Stand up tackle, lads. It's above the sternum. Same as over there.
Nice, Oz. Take it quick, remember.
Go.
Now a bit of, I'm not quite sure what that was. I promised everyone I wouldn't talk about the tackle, but that is a classic where Chinnor had been penalised and I didn't really see a lot wrong with it. But in law, it's probably above the sternum or above the base of the sternum.
Shouting at me, swearing at me. All right. If I know it is, right, they go for a yellow card. Push card, all right? 10's about here, yeah?
Well, there are going to be a few of those while we find our feet with this ever-changing game.
Jack gets the ball. He comes inside.
Okay,
look where the right arm was. The right arm was not that high.
First tackle. High
If
tackle
I'm
for
a
the first
player,
10.
I'm now frustrated. That's it. I won't talk about the tackle or for the rest of the evening, everyone.
You're here as our expert pundit. If it happens, you have to talk about it. It's loose ball, but it is still just about with Rams. A good pick up off the boots by Rossiter, and Rossiter weaves his way towards the whitewash and is brought down agonisingly close. Cole tips that on to Stapley. Stapley short. Rams need something, surely. Best chance of the game so far. Still short. Another big body goes forward. Now the dive for the line referee in a great spot.
Dan Swain.
And Dan Swain gets the first 5-pointer of the evening for the home team.
And we needed that.
we're sitting, we'll penalise, mate, all right?
Yeah. Still got it, Robbie. Still got it.
Rams 5, Chinnor 14. Oh, and with that, I think Joe is with Seb. The Rams DOR. Let's hear what they've got to say.
At least you just scored that. I'm grabbing you. I mean, you've weathered a real storm there by Chinnor.
Yeah, I think Chinnor have started really strong, and the 2 early scores maybe could have had more. So we've had to weather a bit of a storm. Our discipline's been poor, giving them good field position, and they're a quality side, so you've got to be careful with that.
So you're over here. You can't do as much as you'd like to do. So what are the messages there amongst the leadership group?
We try to let the players sort it out. They'll know what's going on. Robbie's skipper's outstanding, so yeah, we'll have to improve our discipline. We're starting to build some pressure nicely as well. We're getting into the right areas of the park, and then we've got a good score, so that's decent, and we'll see how we go from here.
Yes, I was going to say, where from here now?
Well, we've got to continue to build that pressure. You know, if you could get into a decent position just before half time, that would be nice. 8 minutes to go, but it's been a good. We've had to really absorb some pressure.
Great nudge.
The game nicely, so
Great
hopefully
nudge.
we can take on from here. And a good conversion.
And a couple more to boot. Cheers, Seb.
Excellent kick there, Honey. Splits the uprights. And in a tight game like this, when you're limited to opportunities and you're only just starting to take the ones you've got, kicks like that can be incredibly important.
Really, really good kick from Fraser Honey. Probably one of the reasons we wanted to get him up into the club, because he does have a good kick ratio. And his pressure kicks like that make a big difference. What we need to do now is, with 7 minutes to play, exit well, get back in the Chinnor half. Don't give them a freebie before half time.
Right, thank you, mate.
Confirmation then, Chinnor back up to 15. Potentially offside from the kickoff. Referee happy enough.
They've got to be really offside for referees to call it back.
Start using Rams!
And also you have to look which runner is in front of the ball. Does he have any impact on where the ball lands?
Onside.
Well, you asked for a clean exit.
Okay,
this
start
is
using.
the opportunity. Cole waits and sends it up again. So tough for these back 3 players to take it out of the lights, but Will Feeney, it's been good under the high ball, but he's been driven back there. Really good counter ruck this. Stapley's in there, but Chinnor managed to recycle it. Sharif
tackle!
Just shy of halfway.
He is a unit.
Big strong boy. Oh, another great shot, this time on Tom Price. Keston Lines.
It's always backwards.
Oh, hang on.
But oh, lovely offload, and Axel Canning-Smith brought down. Starting to happen now for Rams, and Chinnor just feel like they've lost a little bit of that early level. 5 minutes to go until half time. Here's the width they need. Jones steps inside and he takes the tight head. McNulty with him. Nicely done by McRae. Now Rossiter just runs out of space on the outside. Jack Rossiter.
Few Chinnor players beginning to blow a bit.
Yeah, I think they'll be delighted to hear the half-time whistle.
Great tackle by Gossi.
Please stop waving your arms at me.
Showed Jack the
Especially when you're not involved in the
used the
line-out.
touch line and brought him down.
That's all right.
We've got a lot
Hey,
of
look, it's
respect
happened
for
to
Kieran
everyone.
Gossi at
Sure, we'll be
Rams,
fine.
trust me.
Insert's coming in.
Perennial try of the season winner for Chinnor. Nearly nicking that one as well, the Rams, but the Chinnor line-out has operated very well.
It didn't at the weekend. They're a lot better tonight. On our analysis, they overthrow about 3 or 4. So,
Advantage Chinnor.
So that's sacking them all, which is as a normally a water boy and bringing on the kicking tee, that sort of thing really annoys me, because Chinnor are
7
going
is fine
nowhere.
on the edge. Goes to ground.
Because now they get the line out again. That's
That's
Lads, it's a bit
bounced
busy
off the
with pink
bonnet, so a few
shirts. Get back
expensive
in the
cars
stand,
in the
please.
car park.
Right back.
luckily mine's parked over the road then, isn't it? So look like either Connor Stapley or Dan Swain there. I don't think we've got real many complaints.
More good line-out ball. Off the top they go, and in at second receiver there. Tom Price tries to send Izzy Wharton through, and Izzy Wharton bangs again. And once again, it's a knock-on that gives the advantage back to Rams. But Wharton at 8 has had a brilliant first half, hasn't he?
I dare Joe to go and speak to Nick now and say, what do you think of the errors? Because he will be spitting.
Yeah, that's twice that a line break has ended with a knock-on.
Lads, clock stays on. Come on, let's start building. He's coming in. It's all right.
But
Not
again,
forward in the tackle. Lads, really good pitches both sides. That last scrum, that's spot on, all
once
right.
the ball breaks down.
He's looking for the offload. He'd have to get that through 3 men there to find James Burton. Just watching Keston Lines, the loose head, was in no rush to get to that scrum, was he?
Was he? The proverbial bootlace had come down. Strange that. Hey, listen.
Set!
I put the cap to players at this level who've got the nous to be professional in their attitude to the game.
Everyone stacked to the left for Rams. Instead, they go to the right. Oh, some really good footwork by Bird, but he can't get the offload away, so Rossiter's there to keep it alive. Good physicality there from Stokes, but excellent handling here from Rams. And now McRae gets the offload from Swain. Swain, the try scorer, that halved the deficit. Humberston. Out there to Jones. Jones finds the edge. And then Canning Smith does very well.
He's unbelievably strong, is Axel.
Let it come
Nick
now,
Smith
let it come!
thought he was over it, but it's still with Rams here. Stapley. Oh,
Backwards
now
for
Rams
me.
turn to knock on. No, referee says backwards, and we go again through Stapley.
Play the referee. Clearly called it backwards.
Okay, tackle
Someone's
away,
lost a
no
head guard.
hands.
And Ollie Cole assesses his options. His option is Fraser Honey. Honey out of the back to Bird. Bird over there to Rossiter. Again, forced in field. Loose ball, and it's off a hand this time. A rogue hand from Henry Bird. And another promising attack comes unstuck before a conclusion.
I thought that might have been off his foot, actually, in real time.
Well, this was Rossiter. It was a bit loose there, wasn't it? Yeah, just a left hand.
Just the left hand. It came off Jack's boot, and then, yeah. Henry's reaction told you that he knew. He just nudged it forward.
Time off, lads.
Well, we're into the last minute on our clock. Just a reminder that we're not digitally linked to the referee, so there might be a little bit of meat left on the bone. What have you spotted down there?
Just that Chinnor are quite happy to take the pace out of the game.
Lads, water off, we're going to go, we're going to go.
And Owen Taylor reminding them that we've got a rugby match to play.
You know, it's not so much fun scrummaging when you just run around for about 60 seconds. Big scrum this because Chinnor will want to exit. And I think they will. I think we're getting parity with them, but we're not putting them under pressure. So it surprises me that they feel they want to, like, maybe have a breather, so to speak.
Connor Brockschmidt is on at flank there. We're in number 19. He enters the fray. And Chinnor win the penalty.
What you've got to look at there is, while
that is last, boys.
Our tight head went down, did the loose head step out and drive him down?
Well, that takes us to half-time. Chinnor race to a 7-0 lead after 5 minutes. They doubled that lead to 14. Rams had their moments and managed to get the one converted score. It was a great conversion from Honey after Dan Swain went over from short range. Both teams will probably feel as though they left a few out there. Chinnor in particular with those clean breaks that led to knock-ons. But at half-time, Old Bath Road, it is Rams 7, Chinnor 14.
Early free kick, which is where we overstep. Yeah, away from that, mate. Like I say, I'm really
I think of the two teams. I think of the two teams that Rams will probably be slightly happier. I think, as you say, Chinnor have made 2 or 3 really, really good line breaks, and it's only by their poor execution that Rams haven't coughed up maybe 1 or 2 more tries. To get that score just before half-time with Chinnor being down a player, you normally like to score at least 7. We got the 7. It will be interesting in the second half. We're going down to our favourite clubhouse corner. Can Fraser drive Chinnor back, and can we play at the same level of intensity, and can Chinnor live with us if we do play at that level?
Well, here are some of the best bits from the half, starting with the opening try. It was Morgan Passman there with a punishing carry. And then watch out for Alan Walker arriving there on that outside arc. He made his way all the way across from the line out.
Finished like you'd expect a good ex-pro to finish. He knew where the line was, and he twisted in the tackle, and they just filled the line at times. They know it's there.
Well, they flew out of the blocks, and in a game like this where maybe you do come as second favourites, you need a good start, and they got that, and I think they'll be very pleased. They had 3 visits to the 22 early on, scoring with that one. This was the second one. Again, they'll probably be frustrated not to have scored from the initial maul. Yeah. However, they went over from close range, closer to the post, making it easier for the kicker. It is very hard.
When you're that close, it's really hard to defend. By the way, I wouldn't say to Minty that I thought that Chinnor was second favourites in this game, because he just might slap me.
Right, Ash, I'm going to turn your mic off, and I'm going to send you pitch side, because you're going to be doing some reviewing of what we've seen with Joe, while I'm going to talk you through the remaining highlights. All 3 tries, despite the fact that both of these teams love to run the ball, have come from short range. Watch out for big Dan Swain here, wearing number 5, spotting the soft shoulder. Big tall player, does very well to get that low and to finish that try. And Rams very much limited in terms of opportunities, but find themselves only a score behind. And yes, perhaps the moment of the half was the Fraser Honey conversion that followed. But this one in the balance, just 7 points in it. Rams 7, Chinnor 14, under the lights here at Old Bath Road. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. It's the Next Gen 15 production, the home of schools rugby, but the home of Nat 1 rugby tonight. And what a Nat 1 fixture we have got as well. Still 40 minutes remaining. But before the second 40 minutes, Joe Burns is down there with Ash. I think they're just talking about either where they're going for a drink afterwards, or who is going to lead the salsa that Ash is going to want to dance with someone if Rams manage to take the lead. Burnsy, you're down there, you're under the lights, you look fantastic. Tell us something fun.
Fantastic, but the game though, as promised, has been pretty fantastic. 14-7 at half-time, 13 points more than there is at the Stade de France. I told you, this is the place to be. And Ash, you've got a little bit of a player's sweat on, because you've descended from the gantry in a hurry to come and join us here and give your reflections on that first half.
A great advert for National 1. Great advert for National 1. You know, not that many scrummages, which means there weren't that many mistakes where the referee didn't play advantage. Players have tried to play. Been really impressed with the referee, really impressed. Gary Reynolds, the Rams CEO, has just said to me, best referee we've seen at Rams since Tom Foley, who's gone on to become a professional referee. That's how good we thought he was.
Why has he been so good in your eyes?
Good communication, pretty good technically. There's only one penalty where I'd say I didn't agree with the one on Dan Swain. I never thought Sheikh Sheriff had the ball under control, but referees have to make those decisions. You win some, you lose some. But in the main, I think he's controlled the game really well. And he's done what all referees want to do. He's let the players decide the outcome. And it's not because he's been given penalties and pulling them out of thin air. The penalty he gave against for Jack Rossiter.
What do you mean about them deciding themselves?
So again,
what do you mean about them deciding, making decisions themselves?
Because you don't want, referees should not be deciding the game by giving penalties. You want players by their skills and their speed and strength and showcasing what rugby is all about by them making good decisions and executing well under pressure to get the tries and get the points.
What did you think about the yellow card? Because the Chinnor bench were understandably aggrieved, as every side is when they receive a yellow card. What was your take?
Look, when I first saw it in real time, I thought high shot, even under last year's rules of engagement.
We're not going to get bogged down.
No, we're not. No, it'd be short and sharp. I thought yellow was exactly the right decision. The mitigation was that Fraser just ducked at the last moment. So when the tackle came in, what should have been about there, then was there because Fraser had just ducked. And that's the challenges that referees have to now apply at this level.
And players as well.
And players. You know, I felt for the Chinnor player, but, you know, under the laws we now play, it's a yellow card because it had quite a lot of force in it.
All right. Well, look, I'll tell you what, we got someone else to bring into this. We've got one of the main men from RAMS, and it's a lovely evening that you've put on for us.
We always get the weather for these.
I mean, how about it? I mean, you can't get much better. A little bit clammy for poor old Ash here, but
it's a bit close. We've got our two S&C coaches saying they hope it's really hot because they rate us on conditioning. But it's all right for them saying that. They haven't got to run around out there. That is very, very hot. So it's great. I mean, both sides playing decent rugby.
But the skills are holding up well. We touched on it. There hasn't been many scrums. The handling errors have been pretty low. So, you know, the quality, the precision in those fundamentals has been high. In what has felt from the touchline, we're lucky to be so close. Very, very intense contest out there.
I think you've got both sides trying to play some good rugby. And in fairness, you're going to get one or two knock-ons. They're flat out. But I'm surprised we only had 3 tries in that half. You know, if it wasn't for the knock-ons, it could be another couple either way. So it's a very exciting evening, very good.
I think you have to recognise that some knock-ons, a couple by RAMS, the players are under no pressure. That's an error in skill. But when a player is being half tackled or chased down and a player loses control, you've got to give credit to the player trying to make the tackle, chase him down. That's the reason why the player's lost control, because he's being put under pressure to execute while attempting to, not take the tackle.
I'm conscious that we're very RAMS heavy here at the moment, and I think we'd be doing the game and your opposition a disservice if we didn't touch on the fast, meaningful start that they made, put you under huge pressure with rapid recycling of the ball. Everyone talks about ruck speed these days, and certainly Chinnor's was lightning fast, and they profited with those 2 scores.
The Chinnor halfbacks are excellent. You know, Luke Carter's a super 9, one of the best in the league. You can see the left-handed boot of their 10s giving them a lot of field position.
Top price.
And they play extremely well. I mean, we knew they were going to bring it. They always come, and you're going to get a great game. There's been tremendous battles between 2 sides over the years. But fair play to Chinnor, they're worth the lead in the first half. Be a case of whether they can sustain that for another 40 minutes or whether we can up the pace another notch and see if we can run in 3 or 4 in the second half.
I said before the game, form goes out the window in local derbies. And Chinnor have brought their A game in the first 20 minutes. They probably dropped the intensity a bit after the first 20, but in the first 20 they were really, really, really good, and RAMS were on the back foot. And as I said, we were lucky not to concede maybe 1 or 2 more tries. And I'm sure Nick over there will be sort of saying in the dressing room, guys, just keep playing because the spaces are there and we can exploit them.
Back to the full complement now as well. Yellow card served. That was significant, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was big. I mean, he didn't mean to do that. He just caught him, and it's one of those things. The other thing that you should have a shout out for it, Joe, is that this is the referee's first really big game, and Ash will know more about this than I do, but I think he's having an outstanding first half.
You're at great pace to say we must talk about his performance. We touched on it at the start.
Yeah, because the referee is like the conductor of the orchestra. He sets what we're all watching, and if he has a good game, we're actually not talking. The only reason we're talking about him because I'm an ex-referee and I can see a man who's delivering a pretty good performance when you consider it's only his. I think he refereed Stortford and Simford at the weekend. So obviously, if you're looking at him, he looks to have all the attributes that they look for in the modern referee, and I just think he's had a really good game and let the game flow where he can.
I tell you what, Izzy Wharton wearing 8 for Chinnor. He's having a good game. Right, RAMS committee, what's going to happen in the second half to turn it around?
Well, I think if we can keep pace up and reduce the mistakes, we do okay. If they play like they did in the first half, it's going to be really tough. So we're in for a great 40 minutes.
It's going to be tough, but it's going to be entertaining. Thank you very much, gents. Ash, you've got work to do. Dave and Ash are bringing you the second half, and Tom, the team manager of Chinnor, is making a cameo as well. Up to you guys up top.
Cheers, Joe. 7-14, all in the balance. Great to get that chat at half-time as well. Chinnor, well worth their lead. But we've heard the game plan from Rams. They're going to look to turn the screw, keep the pace up, and see what they can do. They're playing downhill in the second half. They're playing towards the home fans. But Chinnor had such a good start to the first half. Will they be able to replicate that in the second? Stay tuned to find out. Chinnor on the ball. Great reception from Nick Smith. Good early carry from him. In fact, he was wrestled by a Rams tackler to give himself a few more metres. That's booted forward by Feeney, already putting that left boot to work, and Bird's underneath it. Little Goosey there being chased across by Sheriff. That's a mismatch pace-wise.
Fuck me, if I was riding up, I want my money back, man. Don't go in! Start using! Thanks, Kister.
So Rams on the ball for the first time in the half. There's Swain. Sorry, Stapley. Cole.
I don't think Robbie was expecting that. Held on well.
And done well.
First man!
Great steal by Chinnor, I think. Yeah. Got in a really good body angle. Got over the ball. Robbie was slightly isolated. Fair play.
Well, they've made the changes, and it's Max Clemenson with that turnover. His first contribution. Half-time replacement.
Ex-Rams.
Ex-Rams.
Always want to do well against your old team.
Ex-Hartbury. Ex-England Sevens.
Just come back from
Shield.
summer in Sydney. So this will be normal for him, won't it?
Well, I think bearing in mind what you were talking about and the potential conditioning, they have made the early changes, haven't they? We've got all of the, pretty much emptied the bench there.
That's better, Chinnor, thank you.
We've got Connor Brockschmidt, Max Clemenson on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's and that's them respecting us as well, isn't it?
Oh, there's the challenge, and then... Oh, that is desperately unlucky there, Rams. They thought they'd pinched that, but then it was knocked on. And that's the first time they've managed to disrupt that Chinnor line-out.
So I'm happy with that, okay?
Yeah, Owen Root, the forwards coach, will be really well. We've obviously read that one. And really, a little bit unlucky. Clearly goes forward. Would I rather have a face a driving maul or a scrum? Probably be happier with the scrum, to be honest.
Okay, lads, let's stay high.
That's the commentator's kiss of death, isn't it?
Let's get good height, yes?
Chinnor will get a penalty now.
So just to run through those changes then, Rob Hardwick on in the front row wearing 16 for Chinnor, and the two flankers have changed. We've got Connor Brockschmidt there on the blind side wearing 19, Max Clemenson wearing 20.
If Rob Hardwick does us half as good as his dad did, we're in trouble. Yep, penalty.
That is a big change in scrum momentum.
Tight head angle, loose head follows in.
Big change in scrum momentum. I know Rams have got some heavy artillery on the bench as well.
We have. It'd be interesting to see how long Seb keeps them there, having looked at that. But we're under the cosh again, and we're only just at the start of the second half.
Feeney pokes for the corner and puts it just about as far into that corner as he could. Take another look at this scrum. That is absolutely walked forward by Chinnor.
Yeah. What we have to decide here on this line out is, do we go up or do we stay down and stop the driving maul?
Yeah, and having that teasing turnover from the last one, it is tempting to send someone up. And they do. It goes to the back. It's off the top. It's Izzy Wharton.
Tackle! Away, Rams!
And again, it's just short.
Play the advantage, not forward.
Oh, turned over though by Rams.
It's not forward by Gold. Scrum advantage, Rams.
Got out of jail there a bit.
Well, both teams have left a couple out there, haven't they? Ollie Cole. And referee Owen Taylor deciding there is no advantage. Although, given that last scrum, this is the front row thought process, isn't it? Are you looking forward to this next scrum as an opportunity to make amends? Or are you thinking, oh, crikey, not this again?
I've been in the game 50 years and I still can't understand front row mentality. They live in a world of their own, trust me.
I'm the same, mate. So as soon as you've come in, I'm like, that's fine.
The referee's just gone over to have a look. There's a Rams player down there. Looks like he's taking a bump to the nose.
That's Connor Stapley. Look, another great start by Chinnor. They come flying out the blocks. Great steal by Max Clementson on halfway. Great kick into the corner. Then knocked on by us, then penalty given away. And fortunately, in the tackle, a small knock on by Chinnor has given us a chance to maybe relieve the pressure. But this is a big scrum. This is a big scrum.
Are we going to see where this bump to the nose came? Oh no, that was the knock on by Chinnor. I think something we've not really mentioned is the fact that
let's get going.
Yes, there are great playing conditions, but the ball is going to be slippery because it's so muggy, so sweaty.
Connor's got to go off, so we're going to have to reorganise in the engine room. Not quite sure who's going to go second row.
Well, there's an abundance of front rows amongst the 5 replacements for Rams.
Okay. Let's go then. It's knocked forward in the ruck by gold scrum blue.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay, it's the first time we've had an issue with angle.
James McRae will go into the second row. Ben Atkins will go into the back row. But this is a big scrum.
Time back on.
Because Chinnor, if I was Chinnor, I'm targeting this.
Bye. Set. Stay high.
And they have targeted it. Oh, it's been toe poked through. It is messy, it is scrappy, and it is just about with Rams.
And Chinnor stolen
it's been
it.
Pinched though by Chinnor, and they're closing in on try number 3. What a start to the second half. Can they make it count with 5 points?
Tackle, move!
Sheriff just short. These are big moments in this game. Good work from Paddy Harris to keep that up. But now some width could do it. Lovely ball, just about gathered. And Passman's over for try number 3.
Okay, just talk to me your pitch to that side then, PJ.
All I would say on that scrum is that there might have been a Chinnor foot not in the front row who played in the front row.
Well, while we look at the replays, I think Joe is on the Chinnor bench with some absolutely jubilant men, I'd imagine.
James, just getting to check his comms, please, mate.
Well, it turns out they're going to keep their celebrations to themselves, Chinnor. But Morgan Passman getting on the end of that little fumble. I think he'll have been absolutely delighted when that fell into the breadbasket. Oh.
If he'd have dropped that, any hair that Nick Heaster had left would soon have been pulled out.
Two from the tee so far. This to keep it perfect. And to extend the lead. Great strike. Not so great result. Chinnor 19, Rams 7.
So we're changing our front row. Ant Maris and James Baker come on, which means Paulo and goes off.
And Rams with it all to do at home. Some good protection there. Straight into the game for Ant Maris.
Lovely bit of escorting, wasn't it? Closed the gap straight away.
Wingers played on.
Another massive boot by Feeney. And Bird just about equal to it. Thinks he's seen some space. Oh, he's run into a Sharif shoulder. And the referee happy enough to play on. Rams absolutely furious about that decision. Smith up to halfway.
That was the classic. Did Henry run into him, or did he change his Did he change his position?
Blue changes.
Well, this time it's Chinnor's turn to pass into touch, something that Rams were guilty of
in real
in
time.
the first half.
In real time, I don't
Blue
think
9,
Shrek
lads, that's the one who
actually
got through.
changed his position, but we, you know, then we can get that up and have another quick look.
Awesome.
Ollie Monnier into the fray.
So we're going to place an ollie for an ollie.
Lines there's them, boys.
I think we're going to try and pick up the pace of how we play and try and play even quicker, because I think at the moment the game is being played at Chinnor's pace and it suits them.
Well, Rams started to win the arm wrestle towards the end of the first
All
half.
backwards.
And they might well do it at the end of the second half, but the game might be done by then. That was a good take. Not entirely sure. He was planning on getting that ball, but managed to make it stick. Carter sending big men forward once more. Now Price out of the back to Feeney, who gets absolutely plastered.
Back to feet. Start using.
Some passionate support coming from the sidelines here.
Just a bit. Great strength. Great offload.
Advantage, knock on.
Knock on.
Oh, and then it's gone forward, and now it's with Rams. Scrappy ball, but
Advantage over.
space to work with, and Calling Smith works with it, gets the offload away, and then Monnier with his first touch drops that on the toe, and it drops into the breadbasket of Rossiter. Still Rossiter, and Rams cutting loose at Old Bath Road. Monnier finds Atkins straight off the bench and straight into the action. This much more like it from Rams. Monnier up the short side, Calling Smith off his left wing and onto the right one. Swain, the try scorer. Big clash with a big man.
High tackle.
It's above the base of the sternum, it's too high.
You're Seb Reynolds. Do you take the 3 or do you go for the 7? 30 minutes to play.
Well, fortunately, neither you nor I have to make that decision.
So there's a statement of intent.
Well, given how last season panned out, it's not just about getting wins, it's about getting bonus point wins, isn't it?
We got a lot of bonus point wins last year. But, you know, I mean, say, rugby is all about imposing yourself on the other team. So you go for the corner, you want to score because that's imposing yourself. So we'll see how well Chinnor defend when they get their injured player back up off the ground.
Burnsy, who have you got with you?
That's all right, I'm aware, mate. That's all right.
He's been out there in the thick of it, tight head for Rams, and you look hot.
It's sweaty out there. It's not very nice at scrum time either.
Yeah, punishing conditions.
Yeah, but you know, this is what we work for in pre-season, so we've been put through the ringer a little bit, so we're used to this, but maybe just not quite as hot.
Yeah, what's the intensity like out there? It looks fierce.
Yeah, it's hellish. You've got to go into a bit of a dark place, so just going to carry on working hard and see how it goes.
Big moment coming up. I know you're not going to want to miss it.
Thank you. Cheers.
It's beyond the 15.
Big moment indeed for Rams, and it's a big moment that's taking them towards the whitewash. Great chance to get back into the fixture here.
Good drive, good body angle.
Advantage coming as well for Rams.
Plenty advantage.
Free play.
Now Monnier having a look right, having a look left, and deciding to go for Honey. And it's gone backwards. Okay, Ant Maris can reset now. Monnier putting some width on it. Here's Calling Smith, one man to beat, and he beats him. Axel Calling Smith into the corner, and Rams back in the ball game.
As I said earlier in the first half, Axel is really, really strong. Well picked up by Ant Maris. Ollie with the long pass, one-on-one, and Axel would back himself normally, as you can see, leg driving the tackle, and gets in the corner.
Oh, good finish. He's given Feeney the slip there. Watch the fullback here, 15 for Chinnor.
To be fair to him, Feeney's had to cover quite a lot of ground.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. That's fine.
But Axel sees that, tees him up, and then just steps outside him.
Fraser Honey drained one from the touchline. Could really do with draining another here. This will bring them back to within a converted try, as close as they've been since 14-0.
Pint says he gets it.
Well, we'll know the moment it leaves the boot, because he has got those Rams spectators right behind him.
No, he's just pushed it, just pushed it.
Just drifted across the face of goal.
I owe you a point. But looking at this, how can you tell me that National 1 isn't exciting to watch?
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant standard, brilliant league, great support here. And what has been fascinating about the way this game has mirrored itself, in the first half, we had those tries from close range, and then in the second half, we've had 2 tries where it would have been easy to keep it tight, keep it close, but instead, they've trusted the width and trusted the edge, and as a result, Morgan Passman and Axel Calling-Smith have got over the whitewash. That's not the cleanest of exits, but it is an exit.
Well, it's off the pitch. It's an exit.
That one then, lads.
Here's Finn Theobald-Thomas, England under-20s hooker with Leicester Tigers. He's looked very good in the age group stuff that I've seen him in recent months as well.
That's the ground by Gold.
Got a little bit physical there off the ball. And now Rams managed to turn it over.
I thought the referee said advantage, or was I going deaf?
Get back, boys, get back, please. Get back, give me space. Don't do that again. I can hear you screaming from the back. Don't do
Okay,
that.
and quite right, he's just having a word with Maris about get the ball in, which is an ex-referee, is again another one of my little pet hates. Just do your job and I'll do my job. I'll let them know if they're taking too long to throw the ball in.
Yeah, I thought I was, mate. Thank you.
If you're going to say that, don't say it quite so loud.
Yeah, that's cool.
Say it just so as the hooker can hear you. Got to be
Okay, it's
subtle.
taken in by Gold, failed ball. Blue screen.
Play the referee. Yeah, you talk about the crowd. I'm going to say this is World Cup opening night, and look at the crowd we've got here.
Bind!
Absolutely fantastic, and they are loving it too, because it's a great game, and it's a game that's in the balance. Approaching 15 minutes of the second half, both teams have trusted the replacements, and now Monnier sets Rams on the way with an advantage.
Taken to floor by Gold Lucet.
Now Bird outside, after burners on by Rossiter. Rossiter skipping through tackles, superb from Jack Rossiter, who's into the 22, eventually brought down. But Rams now on the front foot. Nick Smith trying to turn the ball over, but conceding the penalty instead.
18 off feet.
Atkins was screaming forward, and I think Stapley was thinking about a crossfield kick there.
Robbie can do most things. That's not far off a yellow card, by the way. That's a massive line break, and he slowed the ball down.
Honey, crossfield, looking for Calling-Smith, who gathers and scores, and it's sensational from Rams at Old Bath Road.
I told you, these games are great.
What a sensational score to drag Rams to within a conversion.
Good advantage by the referee. Recognised that Jack had got into space.
Got me, mate, you got some space.
Great cover in the end by Chinnor, but I'd like to look at where the tackler comes from and what he does. That's never from the right side of the ball.
And everyone kept cool heads after that, didn't they? Monnier finds Honey.
That's a great nudge.
Knew there was space over there, and Calling-Smith enjoying life on the wing and outside centre last week. He'll be wanting that 11 jersey more often. Couple of delicious meat pies on a Friday night.
I think if we get Axel into space, which we didn't at the weekend when he plays on the wing, we see that his full repertoire of skills.
3 tries each. That one, the pick of the night so far. Here's Honey to level the game. Is it going to sneak in? No, he's missed that one in exactly the same spot as he missed the previous one.
Time off.
So Chinnor have made this at their last. They've got 10 replacements they can make, haven't they?
All right, make them.
So they.
Well, they bring on Joe Browning, very exciting young back.
Off, PJ.
Been involved with England Sevens, 4 Prem Cup appearances for Leicester Tigers last season.
Taken off one of the props.
Yeah, Kush can, buddy. Sorry, mate.
They brought McNulty back
Wait
on.
for Keston to go off, and we'll.
And that's
we'll
Keston
time
Lines
it, okay?
coming off.
So it'll be interesting to see how they pack down. Will that mean
I think that
McNulty
was a
going?
result of that last scrum as well. I think Nick's recognised that he needs maybe.
Will that be McNulty going from tight head to loose head then?
That's a better clearance.
It's a much better clearance. And the energy in the stadium has completely transformed. Chinnor still with the lead though.
Lads, take the edge,
And
please.
still 20 odd minutes of this game to go.
Last 20, we'll see how good our fitness is and how good Chinnor's fitness is.
Well, that's the challenge, isn't it? Finn Theobald Thomas in for Alan Walker.
Tempo,
2 players,
on.
different ends of their career. This young man with 18 on his back, certainly one to keep an eye on. Oh, James McRae has overrun that ball. He wasn't sure it once.
And now what you get as players are getting tired, execution maybe not quite as good.
Yeah, all good.
Gives us a good platform to go.
4, lads, please.
So Sheikh Sharif off, Alfie North on.
Knock forward in the line out. Okay, last
Just another
penalty
look
against
at
the
that
loose head, lads.
great
Everybody stay
kick.
connected
What
and
a
scrum nice
try.
and high, okay?
Because they've used the crossfield a couple of times, haven't they? We saw Ollie Monnier use it to put Jack Rossiter into space over on the right-hand side, and then...
Maybe that said something spotted that they get narrow at times.
Bind! Stand up. That's both sides, no space. Go again.
So here's the classic front row kidology. Who's closing the space?
Yeah, lads, we need space.
Who
All right,
wants to
both sides
scrummage?
pre-engaged.
Who
Both
maybe doesn't
sides,
want to
both teams.
scrummage? I can assure people watching, Rams want to scrummage with who they've got on the park at the moment.
We've had a real momentum shift, haven't we? It was level pegging in the first half, and
Chinnor know this is our best front row on the pitch.
And Chinnor won that scrum penalty. And then Rams made the change, and this is the result.
I think we're called scrum again.
Exactly the same as the free kick down there.
I think we're called scrum again. Free kick's no good to us. Yeah. We're going to try and turn the screw, I should imagine.
So here's the question then.
Boys, yeah.
If you win the penalty here,
corner.
Do you go posts or corner?
Corner.
Both teams 1 try away from a bonus point.
It was 19-7 when I said, should we take the 3 points? Now it's 19-17. We've got momentum with us. Must go to the corner if we get the penalty.
Balance, lads. Discipline. Crouch. Bind. Set. Yes, sir, yes.
No one on the blind side here for Rams. They don't need anyone on the open side either. Massive scrum penalty. And perhaps for the first time tonight, it really feels like the hosts are in the ascendancy.
Fraser can put this close. Listen to the crowd reaction.
They're calling for another scrum. Oh, he's missed touch. Second time tonight he's missed touch being greedy.
Stand!
But Will Feeney has found his opposite number. Oh, great gas from Bird and a great tackle from Browning. Oh, he needed that. He led the chase on his own. And it ended up being an excellent one. Monnier with the miss pass.
Good tackle by Merrick.
That's a tackle now.
Chinnor finding some line speed.
It's all right, can't do anything. All right, bail out now.
Chinnor looked very narrow.
And Rams look like they're trying to exploit it. Got some numbers there. But instead, Jones keeps hold. Monier's there, looks very sharp, doesn't he? Ollie Monier.
Move!
Honey, out the back it goes. Looked like a bit of cricket fielding there to keep that ball off the deck.
Drew Humberston did brilliantly
Morgan,
there.
stay down. Thanks, mate.
McRae tries to snipe around the edge. It's good handling, good offload by Monnier. And this time, it must be that part of the pitch, because that's where Chinnor coughed it up in the first half and where Rams cough it up in the second. And despite being in this purple patch, they still find themselves 2 points down.
Chinnor will be happy. They'll be really happy. It's sort of like that kick was almost perfection, but not quite. And they'll have been dreading that. And how surprising that we've another Chinnor player has got an injury.
Cheers, Nine.
Well, it's Alfie North, who's only just come back on, moving into the second row.
Now, 13's off far side, mate, so send him on.
Another change coming up here for Rams. Zach
Make the
Clow
blue change then.
with a haircut that, I'll be honest, he looks like he did himself.
I think it looks great.
You ready to go, guys?
Do you?
No, I'm a terrible liar.
Oh, I was going to say, you did tell me it was a toss-up between your glasses and your contact lenses tonight. So that to suggest you made the wrong choice.
Maybe that haircut says all you know about Zach's personality.
Not forward, scrum goal.
Started on the wing against Birmingham Moseley last week, coming off the bench this week.
He was in inspired form last year, scored some really, really good tries when he came to us from London Scottish.
Yeah, excellent player coming through the Cardiff Met University production line.
Bind! Set!
And he's just settled onto the left wing.
Oh, that's a good drive. It's a great drive. Oh, that is impressive. Come on now. Come on.
The crowd response, so loud.
Front row are all elite, while everybody else
And this is such a big momentum swing in terms of the set piece. Need to find touch this time. Do find touch this time.
Hey lads, front row, I think you're doing a good
Possibly he
job
was
there, going
spooked by
backwards.
his
It's the
last
back
kick,
five off,
and he
okay?
made sure that that one went safe.
Come on.
Well, it's a chance to reward the pack for their hard work, and that is hard work out there, make no mistake. Even when your scrum's on top, it's still hard graft.
How good must that feel for Rams, and how demoralising for Chinnor?
This time they go to the front.
In 5.
Heyman finds his man.
K3,
Chinnor having to commit bodies, and Josh McNulty making a nuisance of himself. Ball's down. Good angle run there by Humberston, the captain, over the gain line. These penalties really starting to mount up now for Chinnor.
18, never support.
So we're going to go to the corner again, aren't we? And this one will be 5 out.
Big second row.
15 to go. This is a big moment.
Well, not only
Lads, where's
if they score will it be the first time they've led, it'll be the bonus point secure as well.
And another Chinnor player needing treatment.
18, never supporting your body weight.
Well, I think that's boot damage, isn't it?
Yes.
Obviously playing those back-to-back seasons in England and Australia and England again, he's not been able to go to the sports shop and pick himself up a new
I didn't
pair.
realise what you were telling me at first. So like, well.
Also, if I was a physio, I'd say stop using so much tape. It costs a fortune.
It does cost a fortune.
Go.
Max Clemenson back on.
What do you do if you're
2
Chinnor here?
feet.
Chinnor stay down, or they're going to try and compete? They've got some big boys in there.
I think you've just got to hold on and wait for the mistake, of which there have been a couple, but not this time. Beautiful dart to the back. And Heyman takes his place in the armchair. It's moving sideways. It's moving forwards. It's moving towards the line.
Penalty try.
It's a penalty try. It's taken 65 minutes, but finally, Rams lead.
And he needs to bin someone, I think he has.
Well, we weren't sure where the dominance was going to come from. Perhaps in terms of the conditioning, we thought it might come from the backs. When Axel Carling-Smith went over twice, we thought that would be an astute observation, but it is the pack. It is 1-8 for Rams that have seized control of this game. First in the set scrum, and then by just turning the screw on Chinnor and forcing the penalty try. Second time in the game that Chinnor are down to 14, but this time they're behind on the scoreboard as well.
We're in for a great last 14 minutes.
Well, Chinnor needs some territory. They have not really had a sniff since the first few moments of this second half, have they? They got themselves over the line, remember? They led 19-7, 19-12, but since then, 17 unanswered points, and Rams find themselves on the brink.
And can I just say, whether Rams win or lose tonight, I've been really, really impressed by the referee. Really impressed. He has shown a maturity behind his experience. And if the RFU are looking at him, he won't stay in National 1 very long. He'll be going up.
Although you'd like him to stay here, wouldn't you?
Well, I want all referees to progress, and I just think he's just done really well. And I think the ball's just hit him, which is why he's now giving a scrum to Chinnor.
I can't even take the assist for it either. It's hit me, lads. We've got to have a scrum.
So it's hit him, so that's why he's had to pull him back.
We've got to have the scrum, boys. All right. Sorry.
So, look, fantastic. What did I tell you? We've had 7 tries.
Just as you said, he's had a great game. He's got in the way in the channel.
These things happen as a referee. You can't be in the right place all the time.
It's 18 and 3, front row change, please, both off.
So now they're changing the front row again.
Yeah, Keston Lyons and Alan Walker returning.
I think that's probably their best front row now back on the pitch.
Okay, boys.
And I think Nick's obviously seen what happened at that scrum where they went back at a rate of knots. I expect this one to be fairly solid for both teams.
So you've got 2 players here, haven't you, in Lyons and Walker. Bags of championship experience between them with Coventry and Ealing respectively. And they can't keep hemorrhaging penalties at the set scrum here, Chinnor.
Crouch!
Can I say that our 2 on the pitch have come from our juniors and Wallingford.
Fine!
Approaching the last 10 minutes.
Okay, that's both sides. Both strides. Go again. Let's get binds early, lads. Again, I know it's slippy and greasy, but let's get them early.
Let's go, boys! Come on, Dwicky!
Both sides have slipped on their bind. It's the same scrum.
That's the boys! Let's go, Dwicky!
So Chinnor are going to pack 8, aren't they? So they're going to be 1 less in the backs.
Crouch!
Yeah, they've got 1 man on the blind side.
Bind!
Got Nick Smith in at first receiver.
Set!
Free kick to Chinnor this time, and the scrum replacements come good.
Yeah, wouldn't disagree. I think we're getting the nudge on too early. They want to play. They're not going to re-scrummage with only 14 on the pitch.
Well, they do have a bit of territory here. Here's Brockschmidt. Oh, they were nearly on that ball there, Rams, but instead it's back with Chinnor and Keston Lyons off the bench and straight back into carrying. There's Alfie North, easy to spot in that red scrum cap.
Good work, good work.
Good chop tackle on him, and a good effort to get out of the way too. Still trying to play with width, Will Feeney.
Has he dropped it or has he kicked it?
Advantage knock on.
Knock on.
He's knocked it on. Now there could be a chance here.
Go on,
for
Henry.
Rams to go again. Finds Monnier, little goose from Monnier, and an offload as well.
Hold the ball, hold the ball. Look after the ball. I'm getting a telling off for getting too excited, sorry.
You're not getting too excited, you're getting too biased. It's different. You can get as excited as you want.
I thought I'd been really complimentary to Chinnor tonight. We're into the last 10.
We are into the
last 10. Big local derby.
And a very warm welcome to supporters of both Rams and Chinnor, although I'd imagine most of the Rams supporters are down here basking in this beautiful summer's evening.
I get we were waiting for a little time for the ball to come in, but it's just straight to his feet, mate.
We've seen this a few times, haven't we, from Rams, particularly in the second half. Just
good
good
offloading.
supporting lines.
Good cover tackle by Kieran Goss by looks of it. I think that's I've got to say, I think that's a tad harsh, but as I said, referees make the odd mistake.
Oh, Rams have finally turned one over, and they're still trying to run it from their own 22. Oh, a missed tackle there, could have been fatal. It still might be. Calling Smith gets the offload away, running onto it is Henry Bird. Outside him is Clout. Will Feeney, no more than a speed bump, but a speed bump that does his job. Big miss pass, and McRae running onto it. Chinnor managing to slow it down. Oh, and Monnier trying to be a bit too cute.
Offside, player in front.
He's in front of the knock-on, lads. Knock-on offside.
Well, there have been a few times in this second half where Rams have poured forward, and to their credit, Chinnor have coped.
It's about that scramble defence, just get in there. Just getting someone there to make a tackle. We're
getting to the stage now where a score for either team could be fatal. If Rams get one, it's done. If Chinnor get one...
Axel with his strength again, really good.
That's a lovely ball, and Bird finding Clout.
Right, 2 balls on.
Not sure that was the right play anyway, because Ben Atkins was lined up by Alfie North. Contact in the air. Their drive to the corner.
Well, they're going to have to go for the corner, aren't they?
Yeah.
Penalty, no good for them. If they get a try here...
And they've got to convert it.
They've got a kick to convert it. They're involved with a lot of close games, as are Rams. In fact, what did they get? Was it 3 draws last season?
Yeah, they did. Great nudge.
Cinderford love a draw as well, don't they? Cinderford
you don't touch him, we can
picked up a hatful.
That's okay, mate.
But of course, we've talked about bonus points. If Chinnor
get
over the whitewash here, then that is at least 1 point in the bag, possibly 2, possibly all 5.
Yep.
Walker. Oh, again. Rams nearly pinching it, but it's with Chinnor inside the 22. We're running out of time here. They've been under the cosh for a lot of the second half, but this is a real opportunity. Keston lines. Targets Honey.
Hanging on. Great steal by Max Heyman. Great steal by Max Heyman.
Lovely work, boys. Gold isolated. First man turnover.
I think the intensity and the pace, people are just now beginning to, that's where we're seeing errors creep in from both teams. And he just got himself slightly isolated, and Max Heyman got in a great position, got over the ball. Let's get this off the pitch.
6 on the clock, lads.
Keep your eye.
Can I just say it's very hard to be impartial when the heart rate is pumping.
Stay calm. It's a great game of rugby.
I told you National won. Great game of rugby. Whatever's happened in France tonight, it will not be as exciting as this. Trust me.
It was 5-3 last time we checked.
5-3. Oh, lovely. Exciting.
Approaching the final 5 minutes. Just a reminder that our clock is not quite in sync with the referees, so there might be a bit more, there might be a bit less, but we're pretty close. Here's Calling Smith on a hat-trick. Again, stepping inside, and so difficult for the first man to bring him down. He's been excellent tonight, Monnier.
No, don't go in.
Again, Monnier just shovels that one as much as anything.
Yeah, you're holding him in,
Another pick from McRae. He's done very well there this evening.
He likes that. He likes that pick just round the corner.
Now they call for the caterpillar.
Yeah, I think we're going to go for the kick now.
Use!
Monnier. One for Cloud to chase. Oh, they've let it bounce, and where's it going to bounce to? It's going to bounce Rams' way. So enough of a seed of doubts for Will Feeney.
They're very narrow if we go wide.
Another penalty.
Not the first match.
Now what do you do? There's a chance to go for the poles here.
No, corner, corner.
And take it beyond a converted try.
It's 7.
Corner. They're down to 14, don't forget.
Any thoughts of the posts? I'm looking around. I'm looking around. We've got some of the top brass up in the commentary position with us,
lads, come on,
and they are all back in the team.
You've got to back your forwards.
Well, they've been excellent, and should Rams win this game, it'll be largely down to the group of big men, the piano pushers.
Forwards win matches and backs decide by how many. How many years we've been saying that?
All of this is so punishing on Chinnor as well. Still just 5 points behind. But another penalty. And a bit of cramp as well.
Does it surprise us? Does it surprise us?
No, not at all. All 40 players who've been involved tonight have
Number
emptied
one,
the tank.
Not on the maul. You've come in at the side and taken the man out. Simbin will return at the line out, PJ, yeah?
So we'll go for the line out, I would imagine, but they're going to be back up to 15.
Simbin comes on at the line out.
I don't think our clock's quite correct, is it? That's probably a bit
Robbie,
in front.
can I pick an option from you, mate, please? Rob? Yeah, right. Thank you. Thanks, mate.
So interestingly, it's George Stokes who's going to come back on.
Yeah, bin back on.
Oh no, of course, it's Burton who's coming back on because he was carded, but then Stokes is coming back on as a replacement. But he was the one who was binned in the first half as well, so he spent a bit more time on the bench than
you
he'd
need
like
your
to.
wits about you in situations like this, trust me. Even
Okay, time back
the
on.
officials as well as the players need to think clearly under pressure. You'd say if Rams score here, it's game over.
Lads, time is on now. Thank you.
Max Heyman drills it to the front, well taken.
Bit high, it's a bit high.
And Rams go about their business. Heyman there in the box seat. Monnier in behind him, but Heyman's not going to want him to go anywhere near it, but he's going to have to. Monnier finds the crash ball. Clowes there to clear out. Monnier again. Good feet by Stapley, lovely offload. Now Monnier
Forward.
You're in front of him when you
Great call by the referee, perfectly positioned.
Oh, it looked like the most delicate of touches from the big lock.
Mark's there, boys.
Take another look at this now. Difficult to tell from our angle. Oh yeah. It wasn't the beautiful offload that we thought it was. It was a big solid shoulder disrupting the ball.
And when a referee's in that position, I don't care whether it's gone backwards or forwards, he makes the call and you can't argue with him.
Crouch!
The odds are stacked against Chinnor here. The last couple of minutes.
Stay high, lads. Stay
Need
high.
a score.
Use it.
They got those few line breaks in the first half. They've not had them in the second, and Will Feeney's not going to get one there because he's going to drop it on the toe. Henry Bird's run some meters tonight, hasn't he? Oh, and he's going to run some more here as he gets away from the tackles. Henry Bird.
This could be game over.
Back inside to Ollie Monnier.
Game over.
Who puts the seal on it? Rams guarantee the win. They've come from 19-7 down. 22 unanswered points with the conversion to come. They've dominated the second half.
No time
and then it's going to be 2 wins from 2 bonus point wins from 2. And this is a touch of class on a Friday night under the lights.
I know people are going to say I'm biased because I'm from Rams, but trust me, rugby has been the winner
15
tonight.
off the 15, Fraser, that's all right.
Rugby has been the winner. Chinnor competed really well. Maybe this last 15-20, they maybe just ran out of a little bit of gas. And
Time's got to stay on though, mate, yeah.
but it takes 2 teams to make a good game of rugby.
Yeah.
Well, this a tough one on Chinnor because
30 seconds.
that Monnier try
No restart.
means that they
no
currently
restart.
leave without a bonus point. And to make the contribution to this game that they have and to leave empty-handed,
I will tell you when to
That's
nudge it,
hard
mate,
on them.
all right.
And Nick will be really disappointed, especially from the position they got themselves into just
wait.
after half-time.
Just wait. Okay.
Fraser Honey with the final kick of the game. The flag stayed down, the full-time whistle goes, and Rams 5 tries, 5 points. They're 2 wins from 2, and they have defeated Chinnor 29 points to 19, 22 unanswered points in the second half. They rode their luck in the first half, they took control in the second, and Ash, well worth the win. I'd imagine they'll be absolutely delighted. Players, coaches, fans. In fact, before we talk, I think Joe Burns has found Ollie Monnier fresh off the back of a 5-pointer.
To wrap up, an incredible comeback and a great moment with the fans there as well.
Yeah, it was amazing, to be honest. It was a bit of a weird game to come on to because you've got to sort of chase the game and then we get a good score and then you've got to sort of close it out. So, yeah, just trying to get that balance. But
What was the vibe in the change room at half-time?
it was calm. You know, we've been down at half-time before, so we just sort of subs said stick to your process and calm things down and play in the right areas, and I think it showed at the end with the scoreline. So.
Some amazing tries in there, including your own. Like, what was that like to score that at the end and kind of roar into the fans there?
Yeah, just amazing. You know, they give us so much support every week, and just want to give a massive shout out to them. And yeah, it's amazing to score in front of them.
Hey, nothing better than a try of Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's first time doing it, so I'm very happy with that.
Nice, man. Well played, Ollie. We'll let you get back with the boys. Righto, so that's the man who scored the try to wrap up the victory with a bonus point for the Rams. I know you've got a little bit more to add, D-Rod, so back up to you, and then we'll be down pitch side with a bit more reaction.
We were talking about him emptying the tank. I mean, how quickly does he get his breath back? That is a serious young athlete, isn't it? But he seems to be, well, he said it was his first ever Friday night, so he's going to look forward to some more because he was excellent when he came on.
He was really good, and people need to understand that he spent some time in our second team, which we feel is really important to have a strong second team. It puts pressure under the first team players, and it's great to be able to bring someone like that off the bench with 20 minutes to go to just inject a bit more pace in the game. Henry Bird, fantastic strength to break the 2 tackles, and then we kept the passing going. And yeah, I mean, I think anyone who's paid to come here tonight to watch will have got their money's worth, and hopefully people watching at home will have seen National One showcase to its best efforts.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the bench then, because both teams really had to rely on 16 to 20, and they made a point of difference, didn't they?
I think obviously Ant Maris and James Baker are probably our best tight head and loose head when it comes to scrummaging. And I think that sort of like Seb introduced them maybe at just the right time when the 2 starters were starting to struggle. And then we had that scrum down here that I thought was massively psychological, where Chinnor went back 10 metres, and while Nick then brought on his better players, it's once that momentum is with a team, it's really hard to stop. And obviously Ben Atkins came off the bench, was really good, and Zach as well. You know, and it's like elite rugby. It's a team game, it's a squad, and you need all 20 performing. And if you haven't got 20, if you've only got 18 or 19 that are good enough, you do get exposed.
Well, Chinnor shot their shot early as well, didn't they? They brought on Connor Brockschmidt and Max Clementson into the back row, and they brought on Hardwick into the front row as well. And that seemed to pay dividends because they struck first in that second half.
They did. It's almost, the 2 halves were like almost replicated. First half, Chinnor came out, blew us away. 14-point lead, could have been 21, could have been 28 maybe. We pulled it back to 14-7. We start the second half, and once again, Chinnor come out all guns blazing. Max Clementson won a great turnover just here on halfway. They go to the corner. They have a scrum as well where they demolish us, and then they get the try with Morgan Passman, as we're just watching Axel there finish his first try. But then Rams seemed to come back into it, and I did say we fancy ourselves in the last 20 minutes with most teams. Now tonight has been really hot and really sticky, and I think both teams put on a fantastic show of hard, uncompromising National 1 rugby.
What I really liked about Axel Calling-Smith, as we're going to have a look at this, which was a try that would sit well in any division of rugby. Here's Rossiter.
Great feat by Jack.
Tearing it up. And in fact, Rossiter the same and Calling-Smith, they both came in field looking for work, but when they needed to hold the edge, when they needed to keep their width as wingers, they did. And that, as a result...
You see there, Fraser's just having a quick look. He knows it's on. He's had a look and he knows Axel is out here. And that's his... that couldn't have been a better judged kick, could it? I think even you could have scored that one.
Doubt it. I doubt it, but that's very nice of you to say. Very nice of you to say indeed. Well, that was the point where it was 17-19. Felt like one more score either way would be the decider. As it stands, it was Rams who got it. And that was, well, it was a penalty try in the end, wasn't it? But that was the evidence of the forward dominance. We had the pack dominating in the set scrum. We had the line out going well. And they just built with confidence, didn't they?
Do you think we grew into the game and we got better as the game went on, and we got our execution became better as the game went on? Again, I thought I've spoken highly of the referee. I thought he was in a really good position. I couldn't tell from here whether Chinnor had dropped it, but he was in a much better position. And bravely, he gives the penalty try and he singles someone out as he should do, and puts someone in the sin bin.
Well, still plenty of post-match reaction to come. Burnsy's down there trying to hustle up some interviews. A reminder that we've got lots of rugby coming on NextGen15 over the coming weeks. At least 3 live streams a week, and tomorrow it's Rugby School versus Oakham in the afternoon. So make sure you join us for that one. The players, well, they've not made their way into the sheds just yet. They want to bask in this Friday night, and this Friday night 5-point feeling for Rams, 29-19 victors here at Old Bath Road. Joe has found Nick Easter, who I'm sure has got plenty to say about that one.
A tough loss to take, having led for such a large part of the game. I can see that you're clearly very dejected. What are your reflections after that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did everything right in the first half. I mean, we came here on a Friday night. We were excited. We're up for it. This game is always an occasion everyone looks forward to. And we really took it to them in the first sort of 20 minutes, came out firing. And then, yeah, I think just towards the end of that second half, our discipline just let us down at the end. That was really crucial for us, going down 2 men. It always hurts. So, yeah, but we'll take a lot of learnings away from this. They're a good side. They were up there last year. They're going to be up there again. So, yeah, we've got a lot to work on, but it's a long season, so we're looking forward to it.
Nick, for you, is that where the game was won and lost, discipline?
Not particularly, no. I think that had a big factor in it, and we only really played for one half, I'd say. The second half, I think, we'll learn from that. So we went into our shells a little bit. They brought the intensity that we brought in the first half, and I think we were on the wrong side of the penalty count even in the first half. I think. I'd like to know what the penalty count was, but we were so dominant, it didn't sort of reflect our dominance. And then in the second half, I'll have to look at a few of the decisions that were made then. But, we coached, obviously, make sure that we're whiter than white. And that's 2 weeks now where I think we've been on the wrong end. So we'll have to have a long, hard look at it, have to get in touch, see what they're seeing. But I'm really, really proud of the boys. I thought first half, we're clearly the better team, both sides of the ball, and then we just lacked that intensity in the second half. And look, their bench at scrum time turned it as well, to be fair. We knew they had their stronger front row on the bench for the last 30, and we also know that, they play to the death. And disappointed probably most with that last try, because we played a win, we won a win. We wanted to run from under our posts, and they score the last try, so we don't even pick up the bonus point. But the important thing is, second game in, that we learn the lessons from this and we get better from this, and I think the guys are hungry to do so.
Yeah, so as you said, second game in, lots to learn from, but loads to take from that first half. Exhilarating start. That's what I'm sure you want to be tapping into from the word go, first blast, but to the last as well.
Yeah, we sort of talked about at the end is we didn't play for 80 minutes, so yeah, we kind of put it all out there for about 40, 50, and then yeah, we just didn't play the whole 80 minutes, and that's when it kind of was won. Rams played right till the death, scored that try at the end, and that that made the crucial turning point sort of thing. So yeah, we're going to take a lot of learnings from this. We're going to keep moving forward. We've got a great squad, great bunch of boys, well coached as well. So yeah, we're just going to keep moving forward, take a lot of learnings, but we'll grow from this. So yeah.
The last thing just on the league and the season as a whole, we touched on it at the start. National one's so tough, so many good teams. You've kind of got to go on that momentum charge to finish right towards that. There's no easy games. I know it's a big cliche, but it really is a thrilling league to be a part of.
It is. It's a great league, and everyone's on a level playing field. I think some spend more than others, but it's a minimal sort of cap. Everyone's training Tuesday, Thursday nights. There's no real advantages, and there's some really good quality rugby as well. It's a fantastic league to be a part of.
Lovely stuff, chaps. I'll let you dive off. Thanks so much for putting on the show. So we look forward to seeing you later in the season. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Right, those chaps, there you go. And smiles on dials, boys. You put on a show on Friday night under the lights. How good does it feel?
Yeah, great. I think we all enjoy this game. Everybody turned up with a real smile on their face, and a reasonable crowd considering it was the opening of the World Cup. And,
way better game here than it is in Paris.
Yeah.
That's what I'm being told.
I think Chinnor have improved loads, and they come out firing. And I think we did really well to stick at it. We weathered a storm and stuck together, and our conditioning and our togetherness towards the end of the game really come through for us. And probably, I'd say the continuity of our side is what helps us in those last 20 minutes.
You said it's smiles all round, but Chinnor were the side smiling after that first 40 minutes. I mean, you weathered a hell of a storm from them. They came right out the traps and really brought the noise.
Yeah, but we don't mind that. We enjoy that. We like to stick together. We like being put under that pressure and having to weather that together. If we come under the post and we're sulking about it and crumble, that's when we don't take the win. So we come under, we challenge ourselves, we understand what we've got to do, and we fight back, we claw our way into it. And I think that showed at the end of the game that we just wanted to keep going, and we didn't take the 3 points. I wanted to get another score, stop their bonus point and keep climbing into them.
Was that the plan? Go for the corner and then score from your own 22?
No. If we've got momentum, I don't want to go for the points. If we've got the momentum, all right, I might have been told that maybe we should have taken the 3 because it got us to 8. But we had the momentum, and sometimes I feel when we've got that momentum and we're building, we take those 3 points, it eases up on them and it lets them have that breather that I don't want them to have.
Yes, so psychologically you want to hammer that nail home?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Well, I can see that you're loving every second of it. What's that like for the man behind the sticks who's watching on, who can't physically, tangibly have an impact out there?
Yeah, well, you back the lads to do it, and you back them to make their decisions, and Robbie wanted to keep the pressure on, and that's fine. We back that 100%. I thought it was a fantastic game of rugby. It was a tense game. It was different to last week. Last week was sort of open-ended, sometimes a little bit of defence optional at times, and 86 points. This one was a bit more attritional. There was lots of errors, a greasy evening, but I felt the errors were coming because both defences were quality and forcing errors, good chop tackles and putting pressure on. So no, I thought it was a really good game of rugby. I think Chinnor were quality, and I think we came back really well, and we're getting the lights turned out on us right now.
Well, you were the guys lighting up the pitch. I'm being told to wrap it up, kind of by the groundsman, if anything, not the producer in my ear. But I want to talk about some of those tries. I mean, they were unbelievable. And let's talk about brands. Let's talk about DNA and philosophies of the season. Can we expect more of that from you guys this year?
Yeah, we always want to go out there and improve our game. And part of that was, a while back, you could argue we were perhaps a more defensive focused set-piece team. We've tried to develop how we play, and we just want to get out here and play the best rugby we can. And the guys have sort of identified the way they want to improve, and we're going to work on that, and it's just really exciting. So it was a great evening. You get a real buzz in these nights. You turn up and you can see the energy in the boys, and when Chinnor turned up, you could feel that as well, and then it made for a great encounter.
Last word from the skipper. A victorious night with a bonus in front of the home fans who, as you said, turned out. You got Rosslyn Park at home next game, I think.
Sedgley away.
Sedgley away, then Rosslyn Park at home as the next game. I mean, playing in front of your home fans at Old Bath Road must be amazing.
Yeah, it's just gets better and better. Our support is growing. All sorts of different people, like people at work, see people in shops. People just really are starting to buy into it, enjoy coming down, and all the players love it, and especially the wingers. They like to run under and score a try. And
they enjoyed themselves tonight.
Yeah,
they enjoyed themselves. And we enjoyed watching them as well, and you as a whole. Congratulations, chaps! Victorious, 2 from 2, 2 bonus points. Perfect start.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy the rest of the evening, chaps.
Thank you.
Good on you, boys. Thank you. Thank you. Right, we're going to bring Ash in for one last.
I'll only use one.
Just the one microphone. Just the one microphone for you, Ash. But a die-hard Rams man, 57 years a Ram. Nights like that, that's what you live for, right?
I think the winner on the night was rugby. It was a great game, great advert for National One. It takes 2 teams to make a great contest. Chinnor tested us massively tonight. I said at the beginning of the programme that the last 20 minutes could be crucial because we back ourselves on fitness, and I think that proved the case.
Ash, it has been a joy to have you on comms, a joy to have you here. Will we have you again, maybe?
You can have me whenever you want. I've enjoyed it, and I do like the sound of my own voice.
We have enjoyed the sound of your voice tonight, and we hope that you have enjoyed the action that we've brought to you, for you, in National One, in association with Talking Rugby Union as well. And of course, with Next Gen, we're hoping to bring you plenty more across the stream on what, as I said, is one of the tightest, most entertaining leagues in the country. Didn't I tell you you'd have a good time? Well, there you have it. A win for the Rams and a bonus point to boot. Perfect start to the season, but Chinnor are looking all right for the season ahead. Lots of thrilling games to come. Join us next time. But for now, it is good night.